English Lee podcast from Speak English with Claus. Hey English learners, welcome back to the English Lee podcast, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real everyday conversations. I'm Linda and I'm Paul. Today's episode is inspired by your comments. Recently, many of you told us that you want more natural conversations, more real speaking practice, and more examples for new words and phrases. And we listened. So today we're trying something a little different. We are not going to start with a normal lesson. We're going to start with a story, a movie-style story with only two characters, Linda and Paul, which is convenient because we are Linda and Paul. Very convenient. In the story, we're outside a train station late at night. It's raining. The last train has just left. And Paul is upset because Linda disappeared for 2 hours. Very mysteriously. Not mysteriously. Emotionally complicated. That already sounds suspicious. Okay, it sounds suspicious, but that is exactly why the story works. As you listen, you'll hear fast, natural English, sarcasm, slang, idioms, connected speech, and those half-eaten words people use in movies. Words like going to, wanna, kind of, let me, and phrases like you bailed, fair enough, low blow, that tracks, and you've got to be kidding me. But don't worry, the first time you do not need to understand every word. Just listen like you're watching a movie. Catch the feeling first. Who sounds upset? Who sounds nervous? Who is joking? Who is hiding something? And after the story, we'll come back as your podcast hosts and explain the important movie dialogues. Yep. And we'll break down the phrases, the sarcasm, the connected speech, the hidden meaning, and the emotional tone. And if you enjoy this kind of movie-style English episode, please like this video and subscribe to the English Lee podcast. Also, tell us in the comments how much you understood from the story the first time. 50%, 70%, almost everything. No pressure. This is not an exam. It's ear training. So, relax, listen, and enjoy the scene first. Then, we'll help you understand what made it sound like real movie English. All right. Ready for the story? Let's begin. The last train. Late night outside a train station, light rain, and one very missed train. Please tell me the train hasn't left. Oh, no. It's still here. It just went out for coffee. So, it left 7 minutes ago. Okay. Not great. Not great. Linda, you disappeared for 2 hours. I didn't disappear. I was temporarily unavailable. Wow, that sounds so much better. My phone died. Of course it did. Your phone always dies right when accountability walks into the room. Can we not do this in the rain? No. Actually, we kind of have to do this in the rain because this is where you left me. Paul, no. Don't Paul me. I called you. I texted you. I asked the cafe guy if he'd seen a woman running like she owed money to the mafia. Did he say yes? He said that could be anyone in this city. Fair enough, Linda. Okay. Okay. I know I messed up. You bailed. I didn't bail. It felt like you did. I know. Tonight was kind of a big deal for me. I know it was. First dinner with the new team, tomorrow's interview, everyone asking questions like I've already got my life together. You looked like you were handling it. Yeah. Well, that's the magic trick, isn't it? Smile, nod, pretend you're not one bad email away from moving into a cave. A cave with Wi-Fi. I'm not an animal. Laughter, good to know you have standards. I needed you there. I was there for 20 minutes. Longer than that emotionally. That's not how time works. Fair. Wait, is that my folder? Maybe. Why do you have my interview folder? Okay. Before you get dramatic. Before I get dramatic, Linda, you're standing in the rain holding my future like a wet school project. It's not wet. I protected it with my jacket. Is that why you're soaked? Mostly. What happened? You left it at the cafe. No, I didn't. Yeah. No, you absolutely did. Wait, I don't have it. Right. I left my interview folder at the cafe on the chair with my certificates. Yep. And my notes. MHM, and the recommendation letter. Yeah. You've got to be kidding me. I wish I was. Why didn't you tell me? Because you were finally laughing with them. What? You were nervous all evening. Really nervous. And then for the first time, you looked okay. You were talking, joking, pretending you understood golf. I understood some golf. You called the club the golf stick. I was under pressure. I saw the folder after you left the table. I tried to grab it, but the waitress thought it belonged to someone else. And then there was this whole thing with lost property. And then my phone died. And then I had to run back because the station was closing. And Linda. And I didn't want to call you from someone else's phone because I knew you'd panic and I thought I could fix it before you noticed. You chased my folder across town. Chased sounds dramatic. You are literally dripping. Okay, maybe light chasing. Light chasing. Medium chasing. Let's not make this a thing. It is already a thing. I just didn't want tomorrow to fall apart for you. So, you let me think you bailed? I thought being mad at you for one night was better than watching you spiral for 2 hours. That is incredibly stupid. Yeah. And incredibly kind also. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm still annoyed. Fair enough. But I'm also really grateful. Wow. Growth in this weather. Don't push it. Got it. Wait, why is there a napkin in here? Oh, yeah. Tiny problem. Define tiny. I may have spilled coffee near the folder. Near. Not on near. Near is different. Very different legally probably. Linda, how bad? My recommendation letter smells like vanilla latte. That's not bad. It's from a senior director. Senior directors like vanilla. I'm not putting that on the application. You could say you're bringing flavor to the team. I hate that I almost laughed. You laughed internally. I saw it. Don't play innocent. You planned that. Maybe. So, we missed the last train. Yeah. And it's raining also. Yeah. And my battery is on 3%. Mine is dead, so technically you're winning. That is not how winning works. Okay. So, what's the plan? Let me think. Careful. Last time you made a plan, you called a golf club a stick. Low blow. Accurate blow. Worst case scenario, we find a taxi. I go home, dry this folder, and tomorrow I walk into that interview smelling faintly like confidence in vanilla. That sounds weirdly inspirational. Panic makes poets of us all. That was almost beautiful. Are you okay? Me? You ran across town in the rain for my folder and then let me yell at you for 10 minutes. I've had worse Tuesdays. It's Friday. Exactly. That's how bad the week's been. Okay, that was good. I didn't want to make your night heavier. You don't always have to protect people by disappearing. I know. Next time, just tell me. Even if you spiral, especially if I spiral. I spiral better with supervision. That tracks. See, teamwork. So, interview tomorrow. Yeah, you're going to do great. You don't know that. I kind of do. How? Because you care too much. And people who care too much usually prepare too much. And people who prepare too much usually walk in thinking they're not ready while everyone else is thinking, wow, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. That was annoyingly nice. You're welcome. I'm sorry I snapped. I'm sorry I vanished. We'll call it even. Plus emotional damages. You spilled coffee on my future. Near your future. Fine. Near my future. Thank you. Taxi. Taxi. Wait. What? Where's the blue form? The what? The blue form? The one on top. There was a blue form, Linda. Okay, let's not panic. That sentence has never helped anyone not panic. Maybe it's still at the cafe. The cafe is closed. Maybe not closed. Closed. Ah, yes. It's the famous kind of closed where doors still open because we have hope. We can go back in the rain. In the rain. You're insane. But useful. Unfortunately, yes. And Paul, yeah. If we find that blue form, you owe me cheesecake. If we find that blue form, I'll buy you the whole bakery. Now we're talking. Come on, hero. Let's go save my vanilla-scented future. Laughter, okay, pause. Breathe. Gasps, yes, breathe. That was fast, emotional, sarcastic, and very movie style. We had rain, a missed train, a missing folder, a vanilla latte problem, and now a blue form emergency. Honestly, that is a lot for one evening. Now, if you missed some words, please don't worry. That was the point of the first listen. Exactly. We wanted you to hear the story first, the way you might hear a scene in a movie or series. Soft, fast reactions, short lines, sarcasm, slang, connected speech, emotional tone, hidden meaning. And now we are going to slow everything down and help you understand what happened. First, we'll explain the story in simple English. Then we'll break down the difficult movie-style phrases. We'll talk about expressions like you bailed, don't pull me, fair enough, low blow, that tracks, and you've got to be kidding me. We'll also explain the fast connected words like going to, wanna, kind of, let me, and come on. And most importantly, we'll explain the feeling behind the lines. Because in movies, the meaning is not only in the words. It is also in the tone, the timing, the sarcasm, the situation. So don't think, I didn't understand everything, so my English is bad. Think my ears are learning real spoken English. Alright, let's start with the story. So what happened in the scene? Linda arrived late at the train station and the last train had already left. Paul was upset because Linda disappeared for 2 hours and he thought she had abandoned him during an important night. But later we find out Linda was actually trying to help him. She had gone back to rescue his interview folder which he left at the cafe. A very dramatic folder. My certificates, notes, recommendation letter, and apparently my vanilla-scented future. Laughter, exactly. So the story has conflict first, then a reveal, then emotional repair, and finally a funny twist with the missing blue form. And that is why this scene is useful for learning movie English. It is not just about vocabulary. It has emotion, sarcasm, humor, fast speech, and real-life expressions. Now, let's break down the first hard phrase. The first phrase is short, but it carries a lot of emotion. Let's hear how it sounded in the scene. Fair enough, Linda. Gasps, okay. Okay. I know I messed up. You bailed. I didn't bail. So, you bailed means you left, cancelled, or disappeared when someone expected you to stay. But in the scene, I'm not just saying you left, right? The feeling is deeper. I mean, I needed you and you were not there. So, this phrase can sound disappointed, hurt, or annoyed. For example, if your friend promised to come to your birthday dinner but did not come, you could say, you bailed on me. It is casual English, good for friends, not formal emails. Please don't write to your manager, you bailed on the meeting. Laughter, maybe not. Okay, the next one is very movie-like. Let's hear that tiny moment again. Paul. No, don't Paul me. This is emotional English. Paul is using his own name like a verb. When I say don't Paul me, I mean don't say my name in that soft way to calm me down or escape the conversation. In movies, this happens a lot. A character says someone's name gently and that one name means please calm down or please don't be angry. But the other person notices it. They say no, don't do that voice. Exactly. So this phrase is not fixed grammar. It's natural emotional speaking. You can hear similar lines in real life like don't sweet talk me or don't give me that look. Now let's talk about sarcasm. Let's hear the opening moment. Please tell me the train hasn't left. Oh, no. It's still here. It just went out for coffee. Laughter, the train did not go out for coffee. Sadly, no. Trains have terrible social lives. The real meaning is simple. The train left. But because I am annoyed, I do not answer directly. I answer with sarcasm. This is very common in movies. A character says something impossible or ridiculous to show frustration. Another example, if someone asks, "Are you still waiting?" after you have been waiting for an hour, you might say, "No, I'm just standing here for fun." The words say one thing, but the tone says the real meaning. That is why sarcasm is hard. You cannot only listen to the words, you must listen to the voice. Right? And movie English can be tricky in another way too. Another way? Yes. Sometimes characters use words that sound too formal for the situation and that contrast makes the line funny. Like when someone sounds like a customer service message during an argument. Exactly. Let's hear one example from the scene. Linda, you disappeared for 2 hours. I didn't disappear. I was temporarily unavailable. That line sounds funny because it is too formal. Laughter, yes, temporarily unavailable sounds like a phone service message. But Linda is using it because she wants to make the situation sound less bad. Instead of saying I disappeared, I say I was temporarily unavailable. That is humor through contrast. The situation is emotional, but the words are too professional. You might hear this in movies when someone tries to avoid blame like, "I didn't forget your birthday. I experienced a calendar failure." Laughter, that is not better. No, it is not. But this is exactly what movies do. They make serious moments funny with unusual language. Right. And the next line does that, too, but in a more advanced way. Let's hear it from the scene. My phone died. Of course it did. Your phone always dies right when accountability walks into the room. Accountability means taking responsibility for what you did. So I am saying Linda's phone always dies when she needs to answer for something. It is sarcastic because accountability is not a real person walking into the room. I am turning an idea into a character like accountability opened the door and said hello, explain yourself. Exactly. This kind of line sounds very movie-like because it is creative, emotional, and sarcastic. Okay, next phrase. Kind of a big deal. Let's hear it. I didn't bail. It felt like you did. I know. Tonight was kind of a big deal for me. Kind of often sounds like kind of in fast speech. And a big deal means something important. So Paul is saying, tonight was important to me. But I say kind of to soften it. That is very natural. Sometimes people soften emotional statements because they feel vulnerable. Example, this interview is kind of a big deal for me. It means it matters, but you were trying not to sound too dramatic. Now, let's look at a funny exaggeration. Let's hear that line again. You looked like you were handling it. Yeah. Well, that's the magic trick, isn't it? Smile, nod, pretend you're not one bad email away from moving into a cave. This is not literal. It means I am close to giving up because I'm stressed. One bad email away from means one more problem could push me over the edge. It is dramatic but funny. You can use the pattern like this. I'm one meeting away from losing my mind. Or I'm one slow internet connection away from moving to the mountains. Laughter, very relatable. Another very natural phrase is let's not make this a thing. Let's hear that moment. Okay, maybe light chasing. Light chasing. Medium chasing. Let's not make this a thing. This means let's not turn this into a big issue. Sometimes people say it when they want to avoid attention or when they are embarrassed. In the scene, Linda helped Paul, but she does not want him to make it emotional. Example, I cried during the movie. Let's not make this a thing. Very useful. Now, let's explain spiral. Let's hear how it was used. So, you let me think you bailed. I thought being mad at you for one night was better than watching you spiral for 2 hours. To spiral means to become more and more anxious, upset, or overwhelmed. Like your thoughts go round and the feeling gets worse. Example, I made one small mistake and then I started spiraling. In movies, characters often spiral when they're under pressure. And in real life, too. Next phrase. Fair enough. Let's hear it. I'm still annoyed. Fair enough. Fair enough means that is reasonable or I accept that. It is calm, natural, and very useful. Example, I don't want to go out tonight. Fair enough. It does not sound too emotional. It sounds mature and simple. Next is don't push it. Let's hear the moment. Wow. Growth in this weather. Don't push it. Got it. Don't push it means do not continue or you may annoy me. It is often used when someone is teasing too much, like I said, thank you. Don't make me give a whole emotional speech. Exactly. Another casual phrase from the scene was low blow. Let's hear that exchange. Careful. Last time you made a plan, you called a golf club a stick. Low blow. A low blow means a comment that feels unfair or hits a sensitive point. In the scene, Linda teases Paul about an embarrassing mistake. So Paul says, low blow. Meaning that was a little unfair. Accurate but unfair. Exactly. Next phrase. That tracks. Let's hear how it sounded. Especially if I spiral. I spiral better with supervision. That tracks. That tracks means that makes sense. It is modern casual English. Example, she studied all week so she passed easily. Yeah, that tracks. In the scene, I am saying yes. Paul needing supervision when he panics makes sense. A little too much sense. Now, one funny modern pattern. Closed. Closed. Let's hear it. The cafe is closed. Maybe not closed. Closed. When Linda says closed, she means completely closed. In casual English, repeating a word can make it stronger or more specific. For example, are you tired or tired? Meaning, are you just a little tired or completely exhausted? Or is it finished or finished? Meaning, is it almost done or can I finally close my laptop and breathe? Next expression. You've got to be kidding me. Let's hear how it sounded in the scene. I left my interview folder at the cafe on the chair with my certificates. Yep. And my notes. MHM, and the recommendation letter. Yeah. You've got to be kidding me. This means I cannot believe this. You can use it when you are shocked, annoyed, surprised, or frustrated. For example, the train got cancelled again. You've got to be kidding me. In the scene, Paul says it because he realizes he left his important folder at the cafe. A very reasonable time to panic. Thank you for approving my panic. Now, let's slow down some fast-spoken forms. These are the half-eaten words learners hear in movies all the time. We are not going back to the scene for each one. Let's just train your ears for the sound. Right? Clean version first, then movie version. Want to wanna. So instead of saying I did not want to explain, you might hear I didn't want to explain. Going to gonna instead of you are going to do great, people often say you're gonna do great. Kinda. So I kind of know becomes I kinda know. Lemme. So let me think becomes lemme think. These are not new meanings. They are new sounds. Exactly. You probably already know the clean forms. Now your ears are learning how they sound in fast movie English. And once your ears start catching these small changes, movies become much easier to follow. So what should you do when you hear movie English like this? First, do not chase every single word. Catch the situation. Who is upset? Who is hiding something? Who is joking? Catch the emotion. Is the line sarcastic, serious, playful, hurt, or nervous? Catch phrase groups. For example, here you bailed as one idea. Here that tracks as one idea. Here, you've got to be kidding me as one idea. When you stop translating every word separately, your listening becomes faster. And remember, if you missed some lines the first time, that does not mean your English is bad. It means your ears are learning the rhythm of real spoken English. And that takes time, so don't be hard on yourself. If the story felt fast today, that's okay. Movie English is fast, emotional, and full of hidden meaning. The goal is not to understand every word perfectly. The goal is to catch the situation, the emotion, and the useful phrases little by little. Now, tell us in the comments, how much did you understand the first time? 50%, 70%, or almost everything? And write one phrase from today's episode that was new for you. If you enjoyed this movie-style English episode, please like it and subscribe to the English Lee podcast. Thank you for learning with us today. Take care of your English and take care of your heart. This is Linda. This is Paul. And you have been listening to the English Lee podcast. Bye. Your progress doesn't end here.